Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the 9th season for the Walking Dead television series. In this one, we're going to be updating, counting down our top 10 favorite characters from the series. And possible spoiler warning if you are not caught up for The Walking Dead, which is up to the end of The Walking Dead Season 8. So I decided I would do an update video on this one for you guys, since it's been like a year and a half or a couple years since we've done a top 10 favorite characters, since some point there during Season 7. And now we've seen all the rest of Season 7, all the rest of Season 8, and we're getting ready for October's return for The Walking Dead Season 9. So counting down our top 10 favorite characters from the series so far, you guys can certainly write your list below, and I'd love to see them. So this is my list. I mean, there are so many characters in The Walking Dead, it's sometimes difficult to decide which ones to put on, which ones to not put on the list. So there are some honorable mentions that we'll get into first. Some of those that are still alive in the series and others that were killed off earlier on. So some of my honorable mentions first. I'm going to put Eugene on this list as an honorable mention. He's close, but not quite there. Rosita. Abraham as well, too, for me. Andrea, you guys remember from earlier seasons, she was pretty awesome. Tyreese, Dale, Hershel, and Merle, which is, Merle's really close. He'd probably be like number 11 if I had to put him on. So our top 10. So starting with number 10, one of the all-time greatest villains in the Walking Dead television series. I put him as the second best villain in the series, but that's just me. Some people think he is still the best villain that the series ever had, and that is of David Morrissey's interpretation, his version of the Governor. Still one of my all-time favorite TV series villains for any series, not just Walking Dead, but any show. David Morrissey's Governor, I thought, was intimidating. He was scary. He was crazy. He was really cool. He had a fun thing going there in Woodbury, and then him coming back in Season 4, and then them using him as a hallucination for Tyreese and his kind of ghosts or his demons, so to speak. He was intense. He was awesome, and he was like more of a classic, just regular plain old villain that I certainly do miss seeing in the series. He was fantastic. So he's number 10. Number 9 is going to be Carol, and I debated maybe even putting her higher in the list, but for right now, I'm going to put her at number 9. I mean, she's become an amazing character in The Walking Dead. She's one of our top survivors, so still being alive in the series, still having things to do, still saving the group's ass and doing all kinds of great stuff, killing villains and hiding in ceilings and all kinds of crazy stuff that she's had to do throughout the series. So she's definitely got to be on there. Starts off at the beginning of the series as not a very strong character, and she becomes, by I want to say about Season 5, literally, one of the strongest, if not the strongest, of all of our survivors in the show. So she's fantastic, really strong female lead here for Walking Dead. Love seeing Carol in the show, really happy she survived, and she's still great to see, really fun to watch. So that's number 9. Number 8 is going to be Shane. So yeah, I still got to put Shane on the list. I know it's been a really long time since Season 2, but we can't forget where we came from. If it was not for Shane, the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead would not nearly have been as good. It would have been even cooler to see him survive on longer and see what he would have done Season 3, 4, and 5. But really, I mean, topic of a discussion, I guess, or speculation at this point, because of course his time was finite in the series. It did end pretty quickly. But he stole the show when he was there. Jon Bernthal's career has skyrocketed as a result, and he deserves it. He did an amazing job as Shane, and I still have to put Shane on the list because I do think he is, he was voted as all-time greatest Walking Dead villain, if you consider him a villain, and that's a question, a topic in and of itself, whether or not you view Shane as a villain or not. But I'm going to put him on here, number 8. He's a lot of fun to see in the show. I really liked him, first season, second season, big concentration, and one of the all-time greats, I think, for Walking Dead characters. He probably should always be on the list in some way, because he got this whole thing started, with Rick and with the others. So got to remember that. Number 7 is going to be Maggie. So Maggie Reed, Maggie Green. Maggie's been awesome throughout the show. Still surviving, still has some more things to do. She may move higher up on this list in the future, in future seasons. Really happy to hear Lauren Cohen has re-signed with The Walking Dead for at least Season 9. We don't know, how many years she'll be in the series. You don't know how long anyone's going to survive, so we have to wait to see what they do with her. But she's been fantastic throughout the show. She's taken on more of a leadership role, so she's changed quite a bit in this last, year or two. And I like the change, keep the character fresh, keep her original, and kind of bring her up to that A-list tier alongside with Rick, Ezekiel and some of the other more prominent leaders in the series. So she's got to be there. I got a feel for her with what happened with Glenn and everything. So she's awesome, and I'm going to put her at number 7. Number 6, losing a few spots here in the last couple years, is going to be Daryl Dixon. He used to be near the top. He used to be like, at some points, I'd even say after certain episodes, maybe a number 1. Number 2, I think is safe. A lot of people, one of their favorite characters in the show. He fought with Rick this year in season 8. He's kind of sided with Maggie against Rick. He's been kind of miserable lately, killing everybody and everybody he can, except for Dwight, when it seems like he probably would in that situation. But anyway, Daryl, he's lost a little bit for me. I feel like they have to rejuvenate this character. They have to change some things with Daryl. He's kind of been the same for too long, and I feel like he needs to have some kind of growth or some kind of change. I'm happy he's still alive. He's a huge character in the series, fan favorite for sure. But I'm going to move him down this year from number 2 slot that he was in a couple years ago to number 6 for me, because I just feel like right now that's where he should be at, and we'll have to see in the next couple years if they can kind of reinvigorate this character. I think they need to. Something's got to change with Daryl, so I'm looking for that. But he's still got to be on the list too. I'm going to put him at number 6. Number 5 is going to be Glenn, and I have to put this one up pretty high now after seeing the ramifications of Glenn's death in the show. When you literally look at season 7 and you look at the fan support for the series, literally the very next episode after Glenn was killed off in season 7's premiere, I mean, the show, it was like a different show. The fan base was totally different. You see a decline like right after that, every single episode. So, upon, discussing it with you guys and hearing what you guys have to say over the years, a lot of you guys have said, ever since he's been gone, the heart of the show has kind of been gone. What's happened with Maggie and all the others, and just, it really makes you appreciate how awesome Glenn was to have in the show and how much fun factor Stephen Yeun added to it. So I got to put him at number 5. Fantastic character, and still one that I think we all miss seeing, and I'm sure that the fan base as a whole really does. If you look at kind of how The Walking Dead has done since he has been gone, right? So I'm going to put him at number 5. I think he's a really important character, and the show has never really recovered from losing Glenn, I don't think. That's number 5. Number 4 is going to be Michonne. Our highest ranking female on the list, Rick's, number 2, Rick's, partner, maybe eventually Rick's zombie apocalypse wife if they ever get married, which is kind of a fan theory at this point, I suppose. Hopefully we'll see something like that. I think that she should be probably the top in the series. She's been very supportive recently of Rick after losing Carl. She's super badass. She's got the sword and everything, and she's just been fantastic all throughout the series. She's always been there since she premiered in season 3 or season 2 finale, depending on how you want to look at that. And she should be near the top. So I'm going to put her at number 4. Number 3 is going to be Negan. Yeah, one for me. I'm sure for you guys it'll be different, but I love Negan. Negan is one of my all-time favorite characters in The Walking Dead. He's part of what made season 6 for me and season 7 so exciting to see him come in. Season 8 as well too. Pretty good there as well. And my all-time favorite villain in TV series, not just Walking Dead, but probably any series, Negan is my favorite. He's funny. He's got all the kind of qualities of a villain that you want to have. He's something to fear, but at the same time, he also has kind of that lighter side and the more playful side that he brings out, sometimes charismatic. And has a lot, he's not a simple character. He has a lot of sides to him, and he has a lot of things going on with him. I love the gimmick. I love Lucille. I love the bat and everything. And, I think Negan will go down probably. No, nothing against the Governor, and I know some people do prefer the Governor, but I think Negan will go down as the all-time greatest Walking Dead villain. I really do. So that's 3. Number 2 is going to be Morgan Jones, and I couldn't help but put him up here. I mean, Morgan's been in the series since the very damn beginning. He was gone for a while. He came back. It was really cool to see him come back. People were really excited to see season 5 and season 6 when he came back on as a regular. Since then, doing the crossover, him surviving on way longer than the comic book series version. Really happy to see that. It's really helping out Fear already from what we're looking at. And Morgan's got to be on the list. I'm going to put him at number 2. He's always been there with Rick. He killed probably more people than anybody else during all that war. He was just on a damn rampage, and he's awesome to see, man. I love the staff and the way he used it and everything. Lenny James killing it every episode. And Fear is going to be even better since he's joined. So he's my number 2. And number 1, of course, you guys know who it is. Morales, no. Okay. No, it's gonna be Rick. Morales does not make the list. We can't do that. You know, we can't. You know, it's what we can't do that. We can't. You know, we can't. It's got to be Rick, right? It has to be Rick. We can't put Morales on a list like this. Not in all seriousness, right? But Rick has got to be number one. It's still Rick's show. You know, The Walking Dead, going strong, going into its 9th year this October. You know, love Rick. Rick is the best, right? Rick is the number one. He's their front man. He's on all the covers. He's your A+++, whatever lister. He's your top character in the series. Everybody else comes after that. So I think at this time, as much as sometimes Daryl feels like a fan favorite, or Morgan crosses over, or we miss Glenn, or all these other characters here, Carol is super badass and everything, Rick has got to be number one, I think, especially at this point, especially after all he's lost and how we've seen him kind of cope and deal with everything. Rick might go down as my all-time favorite character from any series, not just Walking Dead, but certainly Andrew Lincoln, just smoking it all these seasons. Really happy to have him on the show. Really glad that he was the one chosen for Rick. And hopefully he re-signs and everything's good with that for many more seasons to come with The Walking Dead. Without him, this show might, if they could kill off just about anybody, but if they killed off Rick, I would not be surprised that if the show was even canceled after that, because really, you need him if you want The Walking Dead to work. And he's got to be number one as my all-time favorite Walking Dead character for sure. I mean, no-brainer, right? Easy one. So that's my list, though. There's no right or wrong here. This is a favorite characters list, so you guys can certainly leave your comments below. Who are your all-time favorite Walking Dead characters from all these seasons? All the 8 seasons we've seen so far. Over 100 episodes now. Which characters are your absolute favorite? Those are mine. Write your comments below. That's it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please like it. Please thumb it up below. You can share. You can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, I would appreciate it. And you can subscribe at the bottom. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev. And I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.